Hello YouTube, this is Jessica from STEM APKs. Welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to continue where we left off in the last tutorial. As you remember, in the last tutorial, I showed you how to do the calibration of images. And well, it would be nice to open an image first. So let's say that you get an image and that you're able to calibrate it. And then I show you how to do this by, let's say that you're doing microscopy. I'd show you how to do that. You add the objectives, you can create your own reports, and you can do more than one objective. Let's see, just to give you an idea what it does, and then you do another one, and then let's say 500 microns, and then add another objective close, and last one. See 100. I just want to create something so I can show you a report 20x, and then finalize all, export report, and then you go hello YouTube. And the reason I'm showing you this is because we'll be using some of it. Now you open your report, and there it is. Okay, so in this tutorial we're going to do something building on that, but we're going to, as you can see, I added this addition to the drop down and all of these guys, and also here I see that there's also these guys, and here some of these I added some functionality. In this tutorial, let's go with let's just show you this functionality. I think you'll like it because it can be very, very handy for many, many applications. For example, let's say that you want to create uh, an area and you want to analyze this area for later to do whatever it is, whether it's sizing, whether it's particle counting, or you many whatever you are doing. I will probably be doing some type of application where you'll do maybe size counting. And as you can see, this small image here serves as a guide for what I'm doing here. But let's say that now I want to get to her face. So what I can do is toggle that off. Now her face is exposed. And now I choose her. And now I want to see what I've done. And there it is. Okay. Now you see all the things that I open, right? This can be very powerful because let's say that you're doing fluorescence microscopy or something, some application like that. And let's say that this might be a channel. You have the red channel, you have the green channel, you have the blue channel, right? And you have the same image, right? But different channels. So let's say that you want to open it, another same image, but in a different channel. Let's just choose it. This is just a proof of concept, right? So imagine that this is a blue channel now. It's completely new, but you can change, you can save this from the same, as long as it's the same session, it will superimpose on the new image. And that can be very, very powerful because now you can, let's say that you can now do work in the red channel. And as you can see, it's adding right on top of the previous work. And this can be very, very, very handy in many situations, you know. And I will, in future tutorials, I'll touch maybe one or two applications where we can use this. But I think you get my point. This is what I'm really excited because we're going to be integrating this with some cool stuff. But that's in the next tutorials. For now, let's see how we did this. And basically, as you can see, let me open this one. Unless this is all, let's clear it. Uh, let's see what's going on here. As you can see, we started here. As you remember, we started from scratch with the file. Then we added, this is new, the scientific, and some of these are also new. This is we did in past tutorials. Okay, calibration report, we did that in the last tutorials, you remember. So I'm following the same tree that we started from scratch at the very beginning. The one that I'm going to be showing you is the most important file for this, is the region of interest tool, and it's this one that is working together. I'm going to put this on GitHub so you can see the files. I cannot go over all of the logic, programming logic of each one of these files because these tutorials will be 2-3 hours long. But I will hit on the most important ones because like I said before, we're building on things that we have done already. So some of this technique that I'm using here, as you will see, if I see the region of interest tool, is this guy right here, is based on the same thing that we did for scale tool and the same thing that we did for the cropping tool. Okay, so it's stuff that you've seen before. So for example, if we get into the ROI region of interest tool RS, you're going to recognize a lot of the same things that we did with cropping tool, with the scale tool, and all of those. It's the same thing. We're bringing the full tick usual suspects. We're just in case this is the first tutorial that you watch from me, what these are doing, this is bringing the RGB image from full tick. Is the enums, this is the color, the event, because these are all mouse events. It represents the UI, like mouse clicks. This one is the color. Frame is where the GUI component used to display the images. Draw is, we have to draw, it contains all the drawing utilities, right? And the prelude is just, it's a common way to bring everything, all kinds of traits into scope, in a convenient manner. You don't have to bring everything. Here, standard RFC reference counting pointer. This just allows multiple references to share data, and the ref cell enables interior mutability when you're sharing stuff, when you're immutable references. This is all you will need that, and you'll see me using it. Here we're bringing the crates. This is image state, and if you follow my source tree here, you're going to see the same names because these are the same files that I'm using. So from the UI, for example, if I go here to UI, there, these are all the dialogues, right? These are the ones that I'm using here. The cell analysis dialog, the show cell analysis, some of them are new, but some of them are not. Layers, I'm still using annotation type from layers that we did that before. Types, some of these are new because these are region of interest shape and the region of interest tool. But you're getting, this is basically the same. We're building on things that we've done already. Okay, here, this is all the scaling info because we're doing offsets from the image coordinates to the graphical user interface. So you're going to see me doing those conversions back and forth. And this is what's happening here. When you click something, it's becoming a coordinate on the image, right? So this is what's happening. In order to do that, that's what's happening here. That's what these offsets are all about. Here is the struct that this is the one, and we're getting to this is starting position, current shape. Basically the starting position is the starting position of the region of interest selection. The current shape, what shape is it? Is it a circle? It's going to be a rectangle. Right now I'm doing polygons, but you can change them to whatever shape you want, and this is optional because they can be changed, right? The points, this is basically the list of points defining the region of interest. Base image stores the original image. This is the base image right here. This is the drawing guide image, but this one is superimposed on top of the base image. Okay, and the scaling is basically, it contains all the image scaling information. We continue going down. This is a constructor now that initializes all fields to none or empty values because you're starting from 0, right? You're starting from nothing. So that's why they're all non-values or empty values. Here, what we're doing here is the update scaling function. In this function, what it's doing is it updates the scaling and positioning of the image based on the frame size. So the width, the height, the image of the frame, and of the image. Okay, so basically that's what's happening here. What else here? This calculates the aspect ratio in order to make it look nice, even though it's smaller. It maintains the aspect ratio. This is what's happening here. Here is calculating the offsets depending whether it's vertical or horizontal. So let's say that is if the frame is wider than the image, then it's going to scale it by height and adjust the X offset. Okay, this is what this is right there. So this is if the frame is wider than the image. But if the image is wider than the frame, then it does this right here. It scales by width and adjusts the Y offset. You can see here's the Y offset and here's the X offset. That's what's happening there. That's the logic behind. This is a very important, because if you get these, it took me a while and a lot of back and forth trying to get this right, because if not, when you draw, is off, and it's still not 100% on the money, but it's very close, as you can see. But where you see that it follows, right? This is where that is done. Very, very important thing to get right, to make sure that you get that right. Here, we're continuous. This is just storing the computed scaling information. This is what I was just talking about, displaying to image coordinates. It goes from display to image. And here it goes from image to display. So this is an opposite of that one. It's just the inverse of that one. Basically what is happening here is it computes the relative position inside the image, and it divides by the scale to convert to image coordinates, and that's what's happening here. And basically What else here? I want to here is clamping the coordinates. Where else? There was something that I wanted to show you. This is image to display coordinates. This is also part of, before I get into here. Remember, this is what is keeping the bounds within bounds. And I want to show you what that means here. Let's say, watch this. You see here? That's a bound. Okay, so it's gonna make sure that whatever happens, it only happens inside there. Okay, and you can see if I do this, I'm all the way down here. It doesn't matter because it will not go. But that's what is happening, right? With the width and the height. And here is the basically the same programming logic of the cropping tool. And you're going to see that it's going to the events, the event handling, push, drag, release. Just like we did with the cropping tool to pick the, everything is very, very similar to what we did already with the cropping tool. But like I said, I'm going to put this in my, actually it's already in my GitHub, so you can go there and check it out right now. By the time you watch this video, it's all of it is there, and you can play with it. You can change it and do whatever you want to do with it. And that's basically what is happening in this tutorial, in this one, the region of interest tool, because it's basically the tool that allows me to do the dragging and selection, right? Think of it as the same selection tool that we had before. And remember that you can toggle and it goes away. Okay? And here, I wanted to touch these two files because these are the two most important ones. And I mentioned that you before that I was going to refactor these. I already started to break it down because look at that. It's getting out of hand. Because we keep adding more and more methods and more trade and more all kinds of stuff. So it's getting really, so I'm going to break this up in the, as you can see, there are, this is the methods that we just added. The toggle, the drawing layer, preview layer, base image, get measurements. These are all the methods. This is the file that controls all the functionality of all of these directory. Okay, this is all happening here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break it into smaller files that are more manageable and try to break it into different functionalities. So it's easier to manage and easier to debug. But that's what is happening in the ScientificState file. And a lot of it is from other tutorials. For example, add channel, group channel, some of that is from before. Composite image, we've been using composite image from the very beginning, but then we just keep adding more and more. Blending channels, we did that before, but now we're adding more and more stuff. This is calibration. This is from the last tutorial, setting the scale and the annotations, scale coordinates. We did that in the last tutorial. And basically that's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you how it's done, and let you know where to find the file, and you can make changes. We're going to be spending some time in here because, like I said, there's a couple more that I want to add stuff to these guys, and that's probably will do that in the next tutorials. And there's other stuff here that I also wanted to show. Actually, let me just show you. This is the old line profile that we did from before. This is basically what is going to happen. We're going to create something, and then we're going to have a dialogue with whatever it is. So for this one, I don't know yet. I'll think of something cool that we can create. And the cool thing about this is completely independent from the other stuff that we were doing here. So it's completely independent. I'll show you. You can see it has nothing to do with what we did with the line profile. But we'll get there in other tutorial. This is the end of this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please click the like box, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time with another tutorial. Take care.